Is Canelo the better boxer? Is he the more versatile boxer that can make adjustments going into the second fight in a rematch in order to beat Golovkin and settle the score? The conventional wisdom out there is that yes, Golovkin probably won a close decision in the first fight, close fight, but Canelo, being the more versatile fighter, can make the adjustments, the proper adjustments, to clearly beat Golovkin in the second fight. That seems to be a lot of what's going on out there from the talk that I've seen. But what have we seen in the past that would tell us that Canelo is clearly the better boxer? And he's clearly the more versatile fighter. You know, watching the first fight, what I saw was two guys that had trouble separating themselves from the other fighter. Two guys who were making slight adjustments throughout the fight, and two guys who were never really in trouble. And what I've seen in the past is we don't have much to go off of to say what would happen from fight one to fight two, being that off the top of my head, I don't remember Golovkin in a rematch, and I don't remember Canelo in a rematch. Maybe I'm wrong. Drop it in the comments if I am. But how do we know that Canelo will be a better fighter in fight two than he was in fight one? That he'll do anything different in fight two than he did in fight one? Same thing with Golovkin. What I saw Golovkin prove in the last two fights is that he doesn't just have to overwhelm you with power and with tenacity. He beat Jacobs in a close fight. He beat Canelo in a close fight. I had Golovkin winning both of those fights close. And I didn't think either one was terribly tough to score, so there wasn't much room for error there. I actually thought the Jacobs fight was a little closer than the Canelo fight. But Golovkin proved in both those fights that he's versatile. He's a versatile fighter. He doesn't just have to overwhelm you. If you're not overwhelmed, which Canelo and Jacobs were never in trouble against Golovkin. Were never in trouble. The Golovkin detractors would point at that and say, oh, he's getting exposed. He's getting exposed. He couldn't overwhelm those guys. But what the rebuttal to that is, he didn't overwhelm those guys, but he still won close fights against both of those fighters who were top three middleweights. Two very good fighters. And Golovkin beat them both without overwhelming them, without knocking them out, without ever hurting them, and was still able to win at least 6 rounds against both of them. So you can't at the same time say Canelo is great and that Jacobs is great and that they're these versatile fighters and boxers and not attribute the same to Golovkin at the same time. If he was exposed in those fights and never overwhelmed those guys, then how did he win? I mean, submit to me how he won if he didn't overwhelm those guys. He had to have some sort of boxing ability. And my point is that we attribute this versatility to Canelo, and I'm not saying it's not there. I think he is a versatile fighter. I think he is a hell of a boxer. I think he's a hell of a fighter. But this notion that he's just going to come out there and outbox Golovkin and, he sort of exposed him in the first fight and he's going to do it easier in the second fight, I don't see much evidence in the way of that. I see Golovkin as a versatile fighter as well. If Golovkin does get outboxed clearly in this fight, it's going to be an age issue. It's going to be Canelo is in his prime. Golovkin, 37, 38 years old, is well past his prime, so Golovkin's going to get old overnight. But Golovkin, what I see happening in the second fight is much like the first fight. I think that if these guys fight 10 times, both very good fighters, possibly great, very much each other's equal at this point, the same thing will happen every time. We will have 10 close decisions that could possibly go either way. And both guys will make simple adjustments throughout the fight, and we'll have the same thing. Canelo proved, excuse that ring, Canelo proved in the first fight his chin. His chin is every bit what we said it is. It's granite. He was never hurt by Golovkin. So he proved detractors wrong in that he's never faced a big puncher like that, and Golovkin's going to knock him out. He proved that his chin is granite. If Golovkin's not going to knock you out at middleweight, who's going to knock you out? Golovkin proved that he doesn't just have to overwhelm you. He can do it in other ways too. He can stand in there and box with you too. He's not going to just go in straight lines like his detractors say. There's more layers to him as well. So both guys proved and showed other layers of themselves in the first fight, and I think the second fight is going to be much of the same. I see a close decision either way. Um, this is truly a toss-up. Truly a toss-up. Could go either way. So let me know what y'all think about all this. I think the conventional wisdom coming into this is all wrong. Both guys can make those adjustments. Canelo can hurt you with his shots. He can also take a big shot. Same thing with Golovkin. Golovkin's chin is there as well, but he can also box. So hit me up. Let me know what y'all think. I am out. Peace.